So, why King James only? Well, in the Bible, we're clearly told that God is not the author of confusion. In this banner behind me, you will see that at the bottom you have all these new versions, all these new updated, revised versions of the Bible in the last couple of hundred years. But then at the top you have the one absolute, the absolute, infallible, inspired Word of God, the absolute truth, the one Bible every English-speaking person should use. Is this clarity? Is all these updated Bibles, does the English language really need to be updated that much? Is that clarity? Is that confusion? Now, is that clarity? If everyone used that same Bible, would that not be very clear? It is. And that's where the real issue lies. And their main excuse for doing this is that they say the King James Bible is archaic, when many archaic terms are still used today. A good book that accurately demonstrates this is New Age Versions by Gail Riplinger. And in this book, you'll see clearly that Gail demonstrates that the King James Bible can be understood by a sixth grader. Another thing that's interesting is that a big lie that they perpetuate is they say, oh, the newer versions come from better, older manuscripts. These new versions come from the Nestle and Allen Greek text. Nestle and Allen took their text from Westcott and Hort. Now, who are Westcott and Hort? Well, Westcott and Hort were occultists. They were liberals that did not believe the virgin birth. They didn't believe the blood atonement of Jesus Christ. They practiced necromancy, attempting to communicate with spirits. Necromancers, occultists, that produced this corrupted Greek text that many of these new versions are using. The King James Bible comes from the Textus Receptus, also known as the majority text. There are over 5,000 texts in Greek that match each other 98% of the time in the Textus Receptus, in the King James Bible. Over 5,000. 98%. The new versions are based on Catholic texts from Westcott and Hort called Codex Vaticanus and Codex Sinaiticus, and both of these are very corrupt manuscripts. There is over 3,000 differences between those two texts. How can one favor these texts over How can one favor these texts with over 3,000 differences over the Receptus? That's over 5,000 texts in agreement. It's a lie to call Vaticanus and Sinaiticus the oldest and best manuscripts. The new versions attack essential doctrines such as the deity of Christ, and I'll cover that more in future videos. But that's the idea. You know, do you want to be in confusion land, or do you want to be in clarity, in faith? Having faith that that is the inspired, infallible Word of God in English for English-speaking people. The Textus Receptus can be traced all the way back to Antioch in the book of Acts, where the disciples were first called Christians. The Vaticanus and Sinaiticus and all those manuscripts can be traced back to Alexandria, Egypt. Which one do you trust? Some really good books on this issue is the Christian's Handbook of Manuscript Evidence by Peter Ruckman. I'd like to recommend that. I'd like to recommend Which Bible Would Jesus Use by Jack McElroy also. And then also another book by Dr. Peter Ruckman, The Errors in the King James Bible. Very excellent read. And also the answer to fools out there like James White, the scholarship-only controversy. James White is one of the very few that tries to fight against the King James Bible, and he tries to write books against it. And Peter Ruckman wrote this book refuting his book, The King James Only Controversy, the scholarship-only controversy. Those are very good reads, and I would recommend if you're really looking to study the issue and read more into it, that you get those books and definitely check them out. But you know, many people out there, they will try to call Christians, you know, these professing Christians will try to call other Christians ignorant and all kinds of names. They'll try to call it a cult for believing the King James Bible, for insisting that every Christian should carry a King James Bible and not these new versions. And, you know, so many of them try to call King James Bible believers ignorant. Well, if it's ignorant to believe that there is one inspired word of God in the English language for English-speaking people that's perfect and infallible and you can trust and have your faith in, I choose to be ignorant. And if you had any sense out there, you'd see the clear difference between confusion and clarity. And I'll be doing more videos on this subject in the near future, showing how wicked and satanic these new versions are, and that they are not inspired. They are not even Bibles. I stand with the King James Bible. You know, Jesus said, "Ye shall know them by their fruits." This Bible has produced billions of copies sold, made the most money, has gotten millions of people saved. This has the fruit to prove it. This is God's inspired holy word of God in English for English-speaking people. Don't ever forget it. Remember, clarity over confusion. But that's it. Have a great day.